Today I have the RGBLink Mini Pro switcher. It's a real good switcher. It's really straightforward. It's got a great LCD screen. But I wanted to show you how much noise this thing makes. This will probably boot up. It's quiet to start with. You can turn the fan off on the menu, and this is setting number 2. And setting 4 would be super loud. I guess I could set that up here. Let's see. Yeah, like this is setting 4. It's kind of like a small hairdryer. So this is back down to 2. And I noticed if I take the cover off here, I get the screws out. All of a sudden it's pretty quiet, and I'm wondering if the wind is whistling through here. I got some incense and put it around in here, and indeed it's blowing the air out, but it's not sucking air through here with the whole cage closed. It's not really sucking it through the back. It's basically around this area, and that's probably why it overheats. The way they designed this, it's not really sucking air across the whole board. And this looks like the processor heatsink, and they didn't put the fan right on top of the heatsink, like it's offset. So this gets frying hot. So by design, that's kind of an oversight, I think, with the heat dynamics. I put some tape on the back here in that hinge so I don't rip off the ribbon. I tried gaff tape, and that's not sticky enough, so I just used some old white duct tape. So take another look at this. I put on one of these camera screw-on things with the knobs around it and glued it on there so I could put this whole rig on a tripod, because they gave you this goofy side screw hole. Like, who's gonna put that on a tripod and this thing will be like bouncing around? I don't know. But what I'm gonna do is I marked off the spot where the fan is right here. I'm gonna see if I can maybe drill out the honeycomb in the middle and then get an X-Acto and cut around and just make this whole port just completely open. And I know it's kind of drastic, but I think in the interest of all the noise that it makes, it'd be worth like Frankensteining the switcher to make it quiet. I was thinking also maybe replace the fan with something quieter, but it's got 4 wires on it, I think, for the 4 speeds, and it'd be really hard to find a fan that's exactly the right voltage and talks to the board in the right way with its power draw and all that. And even then, is it going to be quieter, or is it going to move the air more? I don't know, but at least this doesn't cost anything. I'm just going to cut that out and see what I get. It's pretty easy to get in here like this with some little needle nose and just bend these honeycombs. You can see where I bent these, just get in here, and this stuff's pretty soft. So I think I'm just gonna just twist and bend them all out, and then get an X-Acto and cut a nice smooth port and maybe file it smooth. And by the way, I've got some paper in here to catch all the garbage. So there it is. It seems pretty quiet to me. I was able to use the pliers and just twist out the honeycombs, and then use an X-Acto and kind of cut along and make it smooth. And then use one of these little mini files for the flat parts and the round one getting in here on the curves. So here's what it sounds like. Without the cover. This is back down to 2. And I noticed if I take the cover off here, so I would say it's, just a lot more quiet, not totally quiet. Next, I wanted to do the incense test to see what kind of flow we get. Do this only under adult supervision. So I've got that's where it's blowing the air out. And it seems to be sucking the air in right there. Then over on the side, see, it looks like it's not sucking any of the air. I tried this before I cut it, and it wasn't sucking hardly any to the side. And over on this side, it's not sucking much at all through the hole there. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I'm gonna leave it plugged in and hook it up to some HDMIs to make it work, put some labor on it and see how hot it gets with a fan on number 2. I thought the fan was making more sound with it screwed into the frame, because when you close the top, that's when it really starts to rattle. So I'm trying it with some foam, just maybe 2 millimeters thick of foam strip under here and under here. I taped it in and moved it forward, maybe about 3 millimeters, like right up to the edge with those HDMIs, just where the top would close. So here it is open. This is back down to 2. And I noticed if I take the cover off here, well, relatively speaking, it's a lot quieter than it was. So I've got the fan glued in here. It's pretty much straight with the port, and I glued the screws in here if anybody wanted to mount it back the way it was. Too late. It's been running for about an hour here, and on the bottom it's elevated with these wood strips and the feet, but to the touch, it's not frying hot. That centerpiece for the tripod stand is pretty hot, but not super bad. Here again is the port for the fan. Remarkably quiet, and I think that's going to resolve the heating problem and the volume problem.